Hey, welcome to the Wisconsin Drunken History Podcast. We are your hosts, Eric Sturgeon.
And I'm Russell Sari.
This podcast is about all things Wisconsin, history, music, culture, and beer. Although we don't often use strong language, the content is not intended for young audiences, so listener discretion is advised.
If you love the bluegrass music you hear in this intro, please check out Dang It's from Madison, Wisconsin by visiting their website, dang-its.com. Now on to the show.
All right, welcome back to Wisconsin Drunken History Podcast. This is your weekly dose of the Dairy State. We are your hosts, Eric.
And I'm Russ.
And today is an extremely special episode for us. We have officially made it to 50 episodes.
I can't believe it, man. It's been just a long time in the coming. I'm glad we made this thing. It's just awesome.
Yeah. And honestly, what was birthed out of a pandemic and just sheer boredom and just a desire to get some sort of normalcy of seeing friends and enjoying something. Russ and I literally, came up with this podcast and decided to take that risk, and see each other, a couple times a month to record some episodes.
Yeah, and we like I said with the COVID, we recorded some of these ahead of time, obviously, just in case one of us got sick. But luckily, knock on wood, neither one of us ended up getting the vid.
Well, I got the vid.
You did. Get
get the vid, but it didn't affect our schedule at all because over that December to January period, we were very ahead. I think Russ and I had at least 8 to 10 episodes already built completely and scheduled. So there was a point in time where Russ and I didn't see each other for probably a month and a half.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Just to make sure that, everything was cool and kosher. And then now I've got as of this recording, I have half the vaccine. When this comes out, I have the full vaccine. Russ, you've got your scheduled for the first shot.
First shot, and the second one's coming out.
So by the time this honestly comes out, you have the vaccine as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it was great. It was just two buddies having a couple beers, sharing ideas. Our love for the state. We wanted to inform people that don't maybe know this stuff about Wisconsin. I've lived here my whole life, and
most of this stuff I didn't know, and I know you were the same way. It's more about just like gathering the info because of our own love of the state and just doing our own personal research and watching old episodes of Around the Corner with John McGivern, Discover Wisconsin, or Discovery Wisconsin, any of these things that just sort of led us to want to talk about it a little bit more. And hey, if some of our listeners are from the state of Wisconsin and they're just trying to gather some cool info, or you could be from an entirely different country and you still want to get some of this info.
Hey, we got a lot of people in other countries. UK, Australia,
Germany,
Ireland,
There's a ton.
South Korea. We got a lot of cool listeners that actually tune into us and actually want to learn a little bit about this small northern state in the United States.
Yeah. Again, we both love the state of Wisconsin. And so here we are. We wanted to build in that love of Wisconsin as well as our love for local music and going and seeing these lesser known bands that are going to make huge impacts from our state here, and we wanted to give you all some exposure to them. And I hope you guys can sit around and it's just like drinking with friends with us, that's what we wanted to do. Kind of like we hope you're home right now sipping a couple brewskis and listening on in. And that's the other thing, our love of beer and beer making, beer tasting, beer making, all things beers. That's the other thing. We just have such a passion for, the state of Wisconsin, the music, the culture, the beer, sports.
We're all about it. So,
and we just wanted to sort of open up and share with anybody who is willing to listen. And we will continue to make, content and eventually have a Patreon where we're going to do some really special events. We're going to be doing a lot more giveaways and public appearances as well. So we really hope that you continue to enjoy and listen. And with this being our 50th episode, and how we continuously say that this is your weekly dose of the Dairy State, we figured how fitting today's episode we are going to discuss exactly how Wisconsin became known as the Dairy State and any of the events that kind of led to that title. I mean, it's obviously on our license plates, and everybody sort of knows us as the Dairy State. So we also are featuring great Wisconsin music from the Dang It's.
You might recognize
them from the intro. So we do have another beer review for you as well, which is...
Beer is questionable to call that beer.
We'll
explain later in the episode. So
we will tackle that, and it will be a mystery until that time. We also have another edition of How Many Locos You At, as well as a great interview with the man himself, Tom Waselchuk of the Dang It's.
I can't wait.
So this is awesome. Honestly, without any further ado, why don't we just go ahead and jump right into the main story? How did Wisconsin become known as the Dairy State?
All right, so this one took a little bit of digging. And I went to the library. I went to the Historical Society. I picked my nose. I got all my test tubes out, and I was calculating all this while I was just kind of playing this episode.
He's got a weird 1980s chemistry kit that he found at Goodwill.
The low-budget chemist.
Yeah.
So I'm sure everyone, as you can guess at this point, we are called the Dairy State. But there's actually quite an interesting story that leads us up to becoming a leader in dairy and cheese. Before dairy, the primary cash crop of the time was actually wheat and not dairy. Which
is actually why the Milwaukee Brewers logo has the string of wheat underneath it, exactly. Many other things.
And a lot of people don't even realize.
Beer.
So this crop specifically became a cheap source of investment for a decent yield for many of the early settlers in the area. This crop is fairly easy to grow here and obviously a no-brainer. I mean, like you put the seed in the ground, let it grow.
Yeah.
Cut it down. At one point, Wisconsin even became known as America's breadbasket. And can you imagine that on our license plate?
America's breadbasket. Oof. Put her in the old bread basket.
From 1840 all the way up until around 1880, 1/6 of all the wheat came from Wisconsin, causing farms to pop up all over and actually span the entire horizon that we can still see today. And a lot of these old farms from around that time were wheat farms. Yeah. They were not dairy farms. They weren't set up that way. They're set up for hauling in the wheat, putting it into the barn, drying it, getting it ready for market.
Yep.
And I know our farm specifically is around this time. Is I think our farm was 1886, and
You don't even have a parlor there.
No, we have one stall, obviously for probably goats or something small.
Well, it could even just be for the milk for the home.
Yeah, and we actually have a shed, which is like a cooling shed where you could put milk eventually, but you can tell it was put on later on when they had to convert to a dairy farm.
Got it.
So wheat, however, would eventually start to pose a few problems for Wisconsin. For one, the crop is very hard on the soil and depletes nitrogen-rich topsoil very quickly. Yeah. And we all know nitrogen is essential for healthy crop growth. Many things could impact it as well, including weather and insects. And we all know Wisconsin weather can be summer 1 second, winter the next on a dime.
And in fact, spring. Today it was literally snowing. It flurried even today as we started to record. So.
And during the late 1850s, the quality and the yields began to diminish. And Iowa and Minnesota, because they were just becoming a state, they actually had all that topsoil ready to go. So they would quickly take control and become our highest competitors.
Right. Yep.
So in 1860, devastation struck when tiny insects called chinch bugs. I was laughing about chinch bugs, chinch and chong.
Yeah.
Like these little fucking pinchy bastards destroying our wheat.
Those snarly looking son of a bitches
began devouring the wheat crop. The bugs usually are not in such large numbers, but due to them in the abundance of the food source, they started to explode, causing much of the crop started to be devoured by these little shit bags. So
these little cinch bags.
Little chinch bags, get out of here. So, it's crazy because when you have a pest problem, like for example, we plant corn often, one after another, and if there is a bug that starts to develop, they know they have a food source every year, so they'll just keep coming back and multiply.
Well, right. I mean, they're just adapting to the land and the resources.
Exactly. They know food's going to be there next year, so why would you leave?
Yep.
So to compensate income, livestock began to start to take a hold on our state, and the number of dairy cows started to explode. In 1899, more than 90% of all the farms had cows in our state.
Believable.
Pretty nuts.
Yeah.
And the dairy industry started expanding quickly for several reasons. Many of the enterprising dairy farmers who settled in southern Wisconsin in the 1840s and 1850s were New Yorkers. Hey there. At the time, New York was the leading dairy producer in the nation. These New York settlers brought with them the skills needed for commercial dairying and butter and cheese production to Wisconsin. Most of the earliest dairy operations made cheese rather than butter because it kept longer in the days before refrigeration.
Well, I mean, you sort of require fermentation or moldiness to make some of it too. So
yeah, I mean, dude, people so there is a cheese in France. It's a delicacy, and it actually has maggots in the cheese. Can you believe somebody would eat that as a delicacy?
Hey, this is actually really funny. We got rid of Andrea's 2010 RAV4 because somebody left a sandwich in the back.
Cripes.
Yeah. So we were at a concert at Alpine, and somebody left a little bit of a sandwich. We went on vacation maybe a day or two after the Alpine show. We were gone in Vegas for almost a week. By the time we got back, it had been boiling in the back of a RAV4 in July weather. And
what are maggots to do but
exactly
multiply?
And so we ended up getting rid of a car because of maggots. And you know what? We did sell it as a delicacy. We did tell the dealership that, hey, this had maggots in it, so this is a delicacy. You're going to want this 2010 RAV4.
The sandwich was pristine for a couple
Absolutely.
months. This is hot.
This is the finest, Piggly Wiggly sandwich. Whatever. We've continued that one a little long.
This is the deli surprise in the back seat here.
So much delicatessen delicacy.
So we have to mention Charles Rockwell, who was one of the earliest cheesemakers in Wisconsin. He produced at the Koshkonong near Fort Atkinson in Jefferson County in 1837, is one of the first ones to truly bring the market to Wisconsin. So German and Scandinavian immigrant families were also quick to adapt dairying as a profitable way to farm.
Yeah.
They specialized in a lot of the European-style cheeses that appealed to consumers, and Wisconsin became particularly well-known for Swiss cheese, and it actually still is today. Wisconsin always gets a title for Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
We are like the Swiss cheese masters. Broadhead, which is by me, Decatur, wins all the time.
Yeah.
They're Swiss cheese masters.
And that's the thing is that, at almost every single one of our family gatherings, we have a Swiss cheese plate with some nice meats as well.
And so much of the success of Wisconsin dairying came to be attributed to the efforts of William Dempster Hord, who we actually talked about in the butter episode. He was a huge supporter of the dairy industry.
The oleomargarine.
And he actually became
butter.
governor of the state. So Governor Hord was the one who actually really helped the dairy industry take off in our state. He tirelessly promoted the industry for nearly 50 years. He started the Wisconsin Dairymen's Association in Watertown in 1872. Though primarily a marketing association, the Dairymen's Association also provided educating and new dairying methods through its publication and meetings. So these farmers would get together, talk about ways to make it easier, cheaper, more affordable, how to make more profit.
They would honestly just share their different methods and ways to do it easier and to be more profitable.
And this is like before the time when like Oberweis and Foremost and Golden Gersney, who has since went under. But
the Oberweis and Foremost are the two that you
Kemp's,
see the best.
You see
the
some
biggest.
Kemp's a lot too, which is still around. But they're kind of the ones who own all these small dairy operations and still buy from them.
Because it's honestly the way that all of them have to go.
It's just the only way to make money.
Yep.
And I know for a lot of people and a lot of dairy farmers, they switch to Oberweis milk because you can get more per the gallon because it's organic or grass-fed more. So you have to let your actual pasture sit for so long to allow the soil to remove all the nutrient out of it and all the waste, and you have to let them graze more. It's more of an organic milk. But a lot of farmers switch to that to make a little more money in our state today.
Yeah, and honestly, when they come to collect, I mean, that's the thing is that they are, I believe, inspected to make sure that things will meet up to Oberweis standards, and most of them will have their dairy operation farm sign out front, the family farm sign that now is it says Oberweis Farm, or it'll say Foremost Farm.
The good thing is those cows are treated well. That they're making great milk.
Yeah,
it's a good thing to have on your farm.
Exactly, it's not some big operation. Most of them are probably, I would say, anywhere from 100 head or less, 150 head or less, something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, growing up around cows, man, I love cows. I'm going to be honest with you. I grew up around them. I love them. They're super sweet creatures. They may have small brains, but they're really sweet animals.
I've been bitten by a few dairy cows. If you smell sweet and you're anywhere near them in their pen or anything like that, you might get chomped on a little bit.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, like the Holstein bulls will fuck you up. I'm going to be honest with
Pedro.
you. Pedro's a fucking dick.
He was an asshole.
He was a fucking dickhead.
That was
like
the Sorry family.
And
farm,
he was
yeah.
And he was like my buddy until he like started getting a little T levels boosting in his system. Even though he removed the balls,
but he knew.
He's like,
I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be burgers in a minute.
You're a cute kid. I'm gonna walk around with you while I'm a little calf, but when I get older, I'm gonna F you up. He knew from the beginning he was just gonna F me up. So on to the story. Horde also established a dairy newspaper, Horde's Dairyman, in 1885, which quickly became the nation's leading dairy magazine. And the spread of dairying was also helped by the UW of Madison, which actively promoted the industry in the late 19th century through scientific research. The first professor of agriculture, William A. Henry, used the university's farm to experiment with new dairying methods. The university also promoted the use of cylindrical silos for storing feed and cattle during winter, and you're still seeing that today.
Yeah.
The silos are a big thing. They were established at UW-Madison, which is really impressive.
Yeah, that was honestly just a feat of engineering and research from right here in the state.
It's amazing. And Professor Stephen Babcock, who we also have to mention, developed the first test for butterfat content in milk, and this allowed high-quality butter and cheeses to be manufactured consistently. The university's College of Agriculture also pioneered testing for bacteria that led to practical methods of milk pasteurization. And if you're in like FFA or if you've been in FFA, you know about the butter tester. And we owe credit to Stephen Babcock.
Yeah.
So it's pretty impressive.
Really, really impressive.
In the 1880s, the university began offering agricultural short courses and winter courses in the Madison area to educate farmers on the benefits of dairying. Its farmers' institutes held around the state also brought farmers and scientists together to share ideas. In the 1870s, leaders of the growing Wisconsin cheese industry organized several professional organizations to promote their product and overcome farmer opposition to the cheese industry. The transition from wheat to herdsmen had been difficult for many farmers. Providing milk regularly for cheese making required more regulation and more confining routine that for farmers who were working independently. And all of that is due to like cheese is like a fermented product, right?
It is, yeah.
It's made from a stomach acid. Basically, it's a rent is what it's called, or is it rent? It's something like that.
Is it WREN?
Yeah, it's like a acid you put into cheese, and that's what makes it coagulate into a cheese.
And curdling or something like that. Yeah.
And all it is like a stomach acid. And
yeah.
A little quick side note, and I didn't put this in my writing, but so it was actually discovered by, I think it was in Egypt, and what happened is like these people needed to haul the goat milk across the desert. So what they did is it's rennet, sorry. And so they rennet. So they put the milk into a goat stomach to haul across the desert. But what they realized is that it curdled and made a really good treat. So these goats that these Egyptians were carrying are actually how cheese was actually discovered, leading to Wisconsin to follow. So
yeah,
pretty neat history.
Which is like you said, it's a complex enzyme that
exactly
or enzymes that really help produce this, but it's literally from the stomachs of mammals.
Yeah, it's just rennet is what it's called.
It is rennet, yeah, and it is just such an odd scientific discovery,
right?
That you and I think of today. These all of these really great advancements that we have, whether that's automobiles or the internal combustion engine or flight or anything like that. This is honestly one of those as well.
Yeah,
like we wouldn't have cheese unless somebody scientifically invented it.
Wisconsin owes a lot to Egypt. I'm going to be honest, like cheese and beer. Like they discovered, natural yeast in making wines and beer early on.
Sure.
So
Meads
like
and yeast,
just for fermentation. They discovered fermentation. They discovered cheese because of somebody carrying milk in a goat stomach across the desert, and it fermented and made a really good food. And
right.
people were like, "Oh, hey, this is pretty good."
That's pretty crazy.
So by 1915, Wisconsin had become the leading dairy state in the nation, producing more butter and cheese than any other state. We have continued to remain one of the largest producers, but today California does lead, however. The state is much larger than our state. So per landmass, we still are the largest producer. If it was per landmass, because
right.
California is huge. Let's be honest. It's a massive state. It doesn't look that way on a map, but if you were to take California and post it over Wisconsin, it's like 3 Wisconsins, roughly.
Absolutely, yeah.
And, we're still the world's top cheese producers. And we have a lot of the master cheesemakers in Wisconsin. The Wisconsin, cheese mastering, a lot of it is done in Monroe area, actually.
And honestly, more people call out the fact that they use Wisconsin cheese than they do, say, California.
Yeah, I mean, you ever see those commercials, Happy Cows? Our cows aren't that bad. Yeah, we have a harsh winter, but we treat our cows pretty well here. Everyone I know treats their cows better than they treat some of the people they know.
Not 100 degrees all the time.
Right, exactly. So that's going to conclude how Wisconsin became the dairy state, and we hope you found it fascinating. It took me a little bit of digging to find all this research, and I went to a lot of local libraries, Wisconsin Historical Society, and we really hope you appreciate it and actually found some wisdom in this. And now on to our music segment.
All right, so today, again, for our music segment, this is very special. This band is just as much an integral part of this show as How Many Locos and beer and all that other stuff. We're talking about the Dang It's. They are our intro music. They're like I said, just as much as a prominent piece as all of this other stuff.
Yeah, Tom Waselchuk's just such a great guy. He's allowed us to use music on here. And, we hope we can help them out, too, to get some exposure. We hope you guys hire them for weddings, parties, or whatever else you're going to use them for. They're just great people.
Yeah.
They're bluegrass, country, Madison, Wisconsin. They're local. Just an amazing band. Tom also teaches bluegrass music. So, I don't know if he's still doing it or not, but I know Tom Porter said he did from Lake Louise. So maybe he still does, so you can hit him up for that. Just a great guy all around. And today we're featuring the song Cabins by the Dang It's.
The motel sign is flashing bright red neon through the glass. Why did I ever leave my home and let this come to pass? As I listen to the cold rain beat upon my window pane, I see the wretched streets below that never will wash clean. This city life weighs heavy like a chain around my neck. The only thing keeps me alive is when I can't think back to the mountain home I left behind, my folks and all my kin, and my blue-eyed girl. I wonder, will I e'er see her again? The memory at home grows so much sweeter. Each passing day I miss it more and more. How I wish I had the wings of an angel. Homeward through the clouds I was soar like a dove to my little Blue Ridge log cabin home in the pines. Round the bend from the valley near the river on the mountain of love. Wasn't much to see, just an old ramshackle shack. We all shared one cozy room, had a privy out and back. 9 kids slept in one straw tick bed. Mama cooked on an old wood stove. Daddy brewed corn liquor in a still down in the grove. Old Grandpa Rick was blind as a brick, and he'd sit out in the yard. And he'd sing Rock of Ages and smoke his pipe when he got tired. And Cousin Jamie Lou would teach us kids to read and write. And what I wouldn't give if I could see them all tonight. The memory at home grows so much sweeter. Each passing day I miss it more and more. How I wish I had the wings of an angel. Homeward through the clouds I would soar like a dove to my little Blue Ridge log cabin home in the pines. Round the bend from the valley near the river on the mountain of love. Now we'd hunt coon and possum, things that city folks don't do. Every Sunday go to meeting in our Sunday shirt and shoes. We raised a hog and a milk cow and a couple of chickens too, and a flea-bit blue tick hound dog with 3 legs we called Old Blue. We didn't need no computers or no fancy picture phones, just an old guitar and a banjo and a couple of fiddle tunes. And looking back, I guess we were as poor as we could be, but that cabin home seemed like a palace to a kid like me. from my reverie and remember where I am. I swear that with my next paycheck I'm a-going home again, 'cause there's nothing more important under heaven up above than a cabin full of family on a mountain full of love. The memory of home grows so much sweeter. Each passing day I miss it more and more. How I wish I had the wings of an angel. Homeward through the clouds I will soar like a dove to my little Blue Ridge log cabin home in the pines. Round the bend from the valley near the river on the mountain of love.
All right. Again, that was the Dang It's of Madison. Absolutely fantastic music. Some of the best musicianship we've heard on this show, and just in our lives listening to music as well.
Yeah, I remember I purchased every single CD, and I just fell in love with them. And I'm so glad that they allowed us to use their music in the intro, because they are like one of my favorite Wisconsin bluegrass bands.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I like Horseshoes and all the other ones we featured, but they were one of the first ones that kind of got me into everything. So
yeah, and Russ and I can both attest to this. We weren't really bluegrass listeners growing up at all.
No, we listened to like alternative
we
rock.
would listen, and maybe
indie,
the
emo.
closest thing that we got was older country music that even back then you and I were like a little bit opposed to it.
Yeah, for sure.
So definitely as we've grown up, we have grown to really appreciate all that musicianship. Remember to reach out to the Dang It's if you've got something coming up and you think that they'd be great for that event or a wedding or something like that. Reach out to them, because they also still play those events and things. So reach out to them. Now we have a very, very special 50th episode beer review.
Can you call it a beer? That's the question.
It is brewed like a beer. So
all right. It is a malt liquor, so we give you that. So okay.
So today we are going to be reviewing the FourLoko Blue Raz.
All right, let's get started here. So the FourLoko Blue Raz Sour is 14% ABV. So we might get lit up. We're each going 2 Loko today.
Yeah,
we're not, because
we're sharing a can.
I got to chill out after this because I got to drive home. So we're going 2 Loko today. The can is a hell camouflage of red, blues, teals. Like, I know this thing's gonna wreck me, dude. I haven't drank one of these.
This thing is a gnarly whoop ass in a can that's gonna just absolutely drop kick me in the face.
All right, Eric, what's your first thoughts on this? What are you thinking?
Cheers first.
Cheers to 50 episodes.
It's been a few years. Russ and I haven't had one of these babies in about maybe 4 or 5 years.
Oh yeah, it's just like I remember Blue Raz.
Jesus Christmas!
Whoa,
God, that is a.
It's a sour
punch to the nuts.
Yeah. So this one, like I said, we have been FourLoko aficionados for a long time. We in our younger days, we have done some dumb shit on FourLokos. Like me and Eric, we like cross country road trip on FourLokos as well.
Yeah,
so
Colorado was an easy drive. The 14 hours to Colorado was easy on these babies.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, we were younger. We definitely had some road sodas, which AKA FourLoko.
Grief. The whole thing, and as we said before, the origin story of how many Lokos are you at is actually because of this drive to Colorado. As far as we would buy, I don't know, 6 or 7 FourLoko cans, pass them out to the individuals in the vehicle, and we'd say, drink up, and then as the ride goes, we might say, like, how many Lokos you at now, and that's just how much of the can did you drink.
Yeah, right.
Each can consists of 4 total Lokos, and if you've got a half can, you've consumed 2 Lokos.
Yeah, I've never actually had the Blue Raz. This is my first experience with the Blue Raz sour.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna be honest, it's sour.
It's
like
sour.
It tastes like a
candy, like a sour candy.
Yeah, a Sour
that's blue
Patch
raspberry.
Kid with vodka dumped all around it. Like, hey, here you go, buddy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This
God.
thing, I know it brings back memories of doing dumb shit.
Every
doesn't
time
it?
you drink it, you're just like, it gives you a little shiver down your entire nervous system. It's just stupid delicious. We wish that they would do something as far as sponsoring the show or sponsoring a segment.
We love Locos. Am I going to be honest?
I'm a huge fan of FourLoko.
As a kid, I sucked these down because you could get them.
Remember, that was the original recipe.
With the caffeine in it.
This is no longer the original recipe. We do want to let that be known. And who knows if any of the original recipe even exist anymore? So does somebody hold those cans and sell them for, I don't know, $15 a piece?
So you remember in high school getting these? Because I think they were like $1.10 or something like that.
$1.50
so
a piece.
You'd get someone who was 21 to get these for you, and you'd load up your backpack, your JanSport cooler, and just throw these bad boys in there.
And we also did Sparks.
Sparks too.
Energy was
I definitely
the other one
sucked some Sparks down too.
Hey, it was basically a vodka Red Bull in one can. It was with like 3 Red Bulls to 100 parts vodka. It was stupid. And same with the FourLoko. The original recipe was like, I mean, it's like taking a Jackie Chan forearm to the jugular.
I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I was a pretty awkward kid in high school, but when you get a FourLoko in me, I'm like, Popeye, I'll talk to the hottest girl at the party.
I'll
jump off a roof. Yeah, no, probably. I would talk to any girl at the party. I'd jump off the roof in the pools. I'd streak naked. FourLokos, you provided this experience for me. Thank you.
Yeah, FourLoko, honestly, thank you for, I don't know, the greatest young manhood I could ever imagine.
Nobody wanted to see my cock and balls, but when FourLoko came in, everyone saw my cock and balls.
I've taken 4 or 5 sips, and I'm hammered.
Nobody wanted to see a helicopter. A sorry helicopter, let's be honest here. Nobody wanted to see it. But when you get a couple FourLokos and you're hitting 8 Loco, you don't even remember you did it. You're like, oh man, they call you the Apache.
You don't remember the last maybe couple of years of your life if you drink, 2 or 3 of these babies. Full cans, by the way.
When your nickname is Apache or Blackhawk, and you're like, why did I get that name? Well,
why do you guys call me that?
You had 8 Loco, and you kind of just did a little helicopter in front of everyone.
Blackhawk down
because my shit was limp and I was swinging in circles.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. What a delicious product that they provide to the world. Absolutely fantastic.
We still love it. You know what? We love the story too about the bros in school who created this. The college bros. We're all bros. Me and Eric are bros.
Jesus Christ. You splashed.
You're gonna be stuck to that chair for a while.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, I love the story behind it. It's cool that some frat bros created it just to get drunk and have fun all night
and to study.
And to study too. I mean, like, who doesn't like? How do you when you're stressed out? Hey, you lose the stress, you're up all night.
How do you want to get? You want to get drunk, and I want to study. I got a product for you. FourLoko.
And that's what we had to review.
You're not going to retain any of the information that you studied, but
it's been years since we both sucked these down, so it's really cool. It's bringing back some memories of having some good times, just a lot of fun.
And honestly, where this show is sort of created out of the depths of the FourLoko hell, Russ and I literally said, do you think anybody's going to want to listen to us ramble about stupid shit? No. Let's throw in some history, and then they'll be forced to.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you guys want to hear about the cool Wisconsin history. And then, we tell you about our personal experiences and life happenings with FourLoko and other major booze corporations. And here we are.
Yeah, and honestly, go and check these out. There's a lot of different flavors. I mean, there's a watermelon now, a blue raz.
And the only 2 that I saw at Quick Trip, I went with the blue raz, but the other one that was there was the lemonade.
The lemonade?
And the lemonade's good. We've had it, but the blue raz looked great. We hadn't had this one before that I could recall. And
I don't remember. I don't
recall any time we've had FourLoko at all. So
yeah, right. I mean, once you hit an 8 Loco, you're kind of down and out. But we've definitely sucked a lot of these back. If you got a chance, you got a safe drive. You know you're not going to get into trouble. Please try a FourLoko. As always, we never condone DUIs or drunken driving in general. Get an Uber. If you have a safe place to pass out, have one of these, man. You're going to have a great Sunday or Saturday.
Yeah, honestly, call an Uber and consume a FourLoko while you wait.
Yeah, I mean, you got the energy, but you're also going to be just kind of less stressed out and hammered.
Yeah, you're going to slur your words, done. You're also going to dunk a basketball.
Hey, I got the roof done last night drinking FourLokos. I don't even remember doing it, but hey, the roof's done.
You're going to walk outside, and the roof is all cockeyed and swirly-toed.
Hey, No rain's getting in there at least, hey? FourLoko did it.
I don't know. All right. Now on to, well, what a fitting
intro, right?
What a fitting intro. How many locos you have?
Wow.
Whoa. Rough. So
we got a good one today.
Yeah, well, because we're also probably about one full loco deep each, so this is great.
Yeah, we each got one loco right now. And we're going into this one. It's pretty impressive, I'm going to be honest. This guy probably is a loco drinker. I'm going to be honest with you.
Holy moly. So the article headline is, Man Jumped into Lake to Avoid Drunk Driving Arrest. The sub title here says, Authorities say a drunk driver hit a car driven by 2 security guards. He then jumped into the lake and tried hiding from authorities.
Oof. You know,
hey, this does work in like Bond films and other things where you're like trying to hide from bullets. Wow, that was really good. Or maybe it's not. And we're just on lokes.
We're just on the lokes. All right.
So authorities in Racine County say that a 38-year-old Racine man jumped into Lake Michigan in order to avoid a drunk driving arrest after he hit a car occupied by 2 security guards. According to a criminal complaint filed in Racine County, 2 security guards were patrolling Racine's east side in a Metro Public Safety car on the night of August 9th when they saw a gray Cadillac run a red light at the intersection of 4th and Lake.
Oof.
The security guards told investigators they went on to patrol the area of Reef Point Brewhouse, located just to the east on the campus of Reef Point Marina in Racine's Harbor. Never heard of any of those
I actually
things.
know where that's at. I've been
nice.
there. Yeah, because I like to go to that beach. It's one of my favorite ones to take the kids to go swimming.
Yeah.
So
the security guard said they parked their car near the brew house only to have the same gray Cadillac back out of a parking space and right into their vehicle.
Oof.
Yeah, not ever a good idea.
No, definitely not.
According to the criminal complaint, the security guards attempted to confront the driver of the Cadillac, later identified as a 38-year-old male, and noticed he smelled of alcohol and was swaying from side to side on his feet. The security guards radioed for more assistance, but before the sheriff's deputies could arrive, the individual ran down the causeway of the marina and jumped right into Lake Michigan. What a hard ass.
Yeah, he's trying to get away.
Out. See you later, dudes. Sheriff's deputies from the Water Safety Patrol arrived and began searching for the individual. A deputy who responded to the scene spotted the individual as he clung to the swim platform of a boat docked in slip number 33, and that's where he was arrested. Oof. So let's go on to see if there's no information here.
Do you think the boat's name was Bass to Mouth?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Or a Dutch rudder or something like that. Yeah. So according to the sheriff's reports, the individual who was clinging to the platform refused sobriety tests and was arrested on suspicion of drunk driving and also resisting officers. So he was later charged with his 5th
the Cinco
drinking and driving.
Holy smokes.
And he was later convicted and found guilty of all that. But
I mean, what do you think? I mean, this guy's a true James Bond, dude.
Yeah, he's trying to get rid of.
Who are you? Drunk.
He's
real drunk.
Who are you? Jaws. Bitch. I don't know why.
I mean, he just jumped into the lake to hide from police. So, I mean, I got to give the guy credit for trying to get away. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
No, I ain't taking this shit.
So, what do you think he would have done if he got out? Do you think he would have just called his car stolen and been like, "Oh, my Cadillac got stolen. I don't know what happened here."
If they would have been like, "Oh, I don't know where that guy went. Where'd Flippers go?" Here's the thing. Yeah, he would have easily
Flippers.
been like,
Flippers. His name is Flippers now.
Yeah, he'd have been like, "Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know what happened. My car was possessed or something."
And I'm going to be honest, like the extreme level of that might have been a loco drinker, to be honest with you.
To be fair, Racine County, loco
malt liquor.
That screams loco.
Okay.
Also, the gray Cadillac, that guy's got to be loco.
Dude,
Cadillac isn't known for the old person, rich folk kind of car anymore. It's kind of like, hey, we found this on a like a shitty street side dealership that's just sort of like a I don't know. Maybe it's a stolen car. You never know. One of those types of things.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just like I feel like this is really loco.
Yeah, no, it is definitely a local story.
Loco.
You know, the guy, like, he's 38 years old. They don't give us blood level. But you want to know what? I don't know how long he stayed in that water, but I'm going to be honest with you. Lake Michigan does get warm, but not that warm.
Not really, yeah.
So, I mean, like, he must have had some
it's too
balls.
Big.
He
it's
must
too
have,
big.
He must have had some balls to jump in there and actually hide from these police officers. So we got to give him credit. As much
honestly,
as I don't condone drunk driving, we got to give this guy credit, honestly. Like, that's pretty creative.
And when your blood is that thin already, jumping into a cold lake, I mean, you're really risking a lot of stuff there. So I will go ahead and say, I mean, this screams a real loke. So I'm gonna.
This is a real loke. I'm thinking.
I'm gonna dive on this one and say 16.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I think a 16 local on this one. This is like, so when you're at the 8 local level, you might not know what's going on after that. And like, he's one after that because this is pretty extreme.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's definitely consumed 4 straight cans of Blue Raz.
Dude just bobbing next to the Bastamol, just waiting for the officers to get him.
Yeah, honestly, he wasn't clinging on to that swim platform of a boat at Slip 33 for any other reason than he didn't realize that he couldn't even swim anymore. His limbs and extremities were completely shut down because of the cold water. And he was just like, shit, I better stay on this thing so I don't die.
I'm going to be honest. Like, if it was me, I'd probably put on floaty wings and just drift out to sea at that point. Like, you messed up. Just drift out and let
Michigan.
Let Lake Michigan take you.
Yeah.
At that point.
Capsized by a pirate ship. Yeah. All right. So 16 loco.
We're going with 16. Hit the gavel. All right. So we wanted to do a quick promotion for a sorry. Yeah. Kind of a sorry thing.
This is kind of a family thing,
Yeah, so we my cousin Grant has a amazing candle business right now called Smitten and Sundays, and they produce amazing soy candles with amazing scents and just a lot of cool things. They're really rustic looking. Hey, remember the toilet episode where we talked about stinking up that can? Wouldn't it be great to have one of these in there?
Honestly, use a match, light a Smitten and Sundays candle, soy candle, and all of your poop air is down the drain, baby.
It's going to smell so much better in there.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're both great people. Morgan and Grant, I was just at their wedding. They're good people.
Yeah.
And if you can go over to their Facebook page, like them. They're just really cool people. They make great stuff. It's high quality, all soy candles. They make sense, too, for burners and everything. Just amazing, like the wax. You know what I'm talking? The wax melts.
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
Yep.
I'm sure you have.
Absolutely.
You're up to date. I'm not very cool. I'm gonna be honest with you. But these are really good.
You could really use some Smitten and Sundays.
Dude, I would stick one of those wax melts right between my cheeks, man. I'm stinky, dude.
You could chafe a good smell right into you.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you just
Heck yeah.
pop one of those babies between your thighs.
But no, please go and check them out. Like their Facebook page. It's called Smitten and Sundays. It's my cousin Grant. Sorry, he's a good kid. And he actually has a really cool wife, Morgan, who is awesome. I was just at their wedding. I danced it up. I looked like a fool. Hey, that's me. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
But please go and check them out. Like them. Buy one if you can. They have like really good quality. It's all handmade. Just great stuff. Check them out. All right. Today we're here with Tom from the Dang It's. Tom, how are you doing today?
I am great, Russ. Thanks.
Yeah, so Tom, can you give
us...
How
are you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's early morning here in the studio, and we just wanted to get you on. It's our 50th anniversary episode, so we figured we need to have you on.
And, congratulations.
Yeah, and we were going to ask you, too, we got a song lined up, too, so we're going to share that with our audience, too, if that's all right.
Oh, yeah, whatever you want to do, yeah.
Sure. So can you give us some background on the Dang It's and how you guys got started and how you got into bluegrass in general?
Well, I started the Dang It's in 1998, and it started out really as more of a country band. But at the time, I was interested in country music, but at that time in the late 80s and 90s, there were, well, I guess I'll say in the 90s, country music on the whole started sounding pretty crappy to me.
Yeah, I agree.
But so I wanted to put a band together that kept what I thought of as the best elements of country music, and a lot of honky tonk, Western swing, stuff with a classic feel, and so we were more straight ahead country back then. When my singer for the first 8 years took her career in a different path, the woman that replaced her happened to be a multi-instrumentalist, and banjo was her primary instrument. So, we just started adapting more bluegrass. Now, I had started my career in music in a straight-ahead bluegrass music in the late '80s, and so that's bluegrass has always been. Well, no matter what I've done, and I've done a lot of different genres of music. Bluegrass. I've always been playing bluegrass music here or there with friends, or sometimes in bands, and yeah, the Dang It's Now does feature more of an acoustic-y bluegrass sound altogether. So that's basically it.
Yeah, it's crazy because like I always talk to Eric about this, how I used to love the old country going up north with my grandpa, and where they actually like tell you a story. It's not like formulated or like
right.
pandering to an audience.
It doesn't pander. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Like old school Buzz Martin, Willie Nelson, the Outlaws, Johnny Cash, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and those trends in country music. I don't want to bash country music. Yeah, I do want to bash country music.
Yeah, right.
Those trends have only gotten worse. How many songs do you need to hear a guy singing about his girlfriend in tight short blue jeans and next to him and sitting next to him in the pickup truck?
Yeah, exactly.
18, 20, 27. I don't know. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear one of them.
What's that formula that they say? It's like rural noun, simple adjectives. So like red truck, blue jeans. It's just like that simple. It's like it's just
cold
not
beer.
Yeah, that's just it.
Listen, just the way you delivered that, I think you might have a career in country music.
I know,
that's what
right?
I'm saying. You could easily.
That sounded too good.
Yeah, you could easily just pick up a guitar, play just 3 chords, and just throw some of that on there.
Yeah, it's like refrigerator magnets,
Yep.
Oh, for sure.
Get a dozen of those words and mix them up and get write a new song.
And yeah, I think especially like I think in the '90s when like the Keith Urban kind of took over, like the late '90s, kind of that generic country music is when I stopped listening. So
yeah,
and I'm pulled both ways. I know that Urban is a killer guitar player. Who's the other guitar player that I really like? Honestly, I couldn't name a single Keith Urban song. I just don't listen to it anymore.
Yeah.
There's not enough time in the day to keep up with every genre of music, so I pick and choose.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's like Brad Paisley and Keith Urban are great guitar players.
Great guitar players.
Just the music is not good.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Paisley's the guy I was thinking of. He's awesome.
Yeah, and the thing is that I just kind of enjoy hearing the just the great musicianship is, if you could put lyrics aside on most anything, honestly, the musicianship will speak for itself. Somebody who's very good at playing instruments, I mean, that alone is enough to catch me and keep my attention.
Well, I wish there were. Yeah. I think that's great. That makes a good music listener, a good music fan.
Yeah,
people like you that I really like having in an audience.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so thank you for telling us the story, Tom. So now we're into the segment, How Wisconsin Are You? And we got about 8 to 10 questions to find out if you've done these Wisconsin things.
Okay, I'm a little older than you guys, so I might not remember some, but I'll make something up I can remember.
All right, the first one, have you been to Summerfest, and did you have a favorite band you saw there?
I went to Summerfest, and I performed at Summerfest 3 or 4 times. I was with a gypsy swing band called Harmonious Whale for those performances. Kind of an acoustic jazz, gypsy swing. They're still active here in Madison. But I didn't go to other shows. I was in and out, and what I can tell you about it, actually, I happened to hear your buddy from Horseshoes the other day on a previous broadcast. He was talking about seeing Paul Simon. I think I didn't go hear any other groups there. When you perform at the smaller stages at Summerfest, you park about 4 miles away, and they bus you and your equipment in on these little golf carts and stuff. And in our case, we were on a very small stage set up between some of the bigger stage, like the Pabst stage and all of that. And so your little stage is overwhelmed with sound coming in from all over, and the sound, we were there on day, usually late in the festival. The sound men have been working, about 20 hours a day for 10 straight days. They're all surly. I didn't find Summerfest to be a particularly fun experience.
Yeah, it sounds
so
like
sorry to rain on your Summerfest parade.
No, absolutely not.
Sounds...
I prefer most other festivals to Summerfest. Summerfest has kind of just become the more commercialized, thing. It's the largest music festival, so.
Yeah. That's my summer.
That's your take on Summerfest.
Question.
I mean, I can't imagine hauling all that equipment on a small golf cart, like big amplifiers and stuff. It just seems nuts, but. All right, so next question I got for you. Have you been to a supper club, and do you have a favorite?
I've been to a supper club. I've been to several, but that's one of my memory questions. Down here in Madison, there's Smokies, which is, I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's right in town on the west side of town, and I don't know if Jimmy's Dell Bar in the Dells counts as a supper club or not.
Yeah.
But I went there and had a great meal, and what I liked about it was that it was really quiet. It was just really quiet.
That's really nice.
I know a lot of people like the hustle and bustle, but when you're with a group of friends, I like to be able to hear them across the table.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, and years ago, as I traveled the state, I'm a Wisconsin guy, so my whole music career has been traveling the state, and I'm sure I've stopped in a lot of them whose names I can no longer remember.
Yeah, I think the two memorable ones for me in Madison are Smokies and the Tornado Room are the two that I've been to.
Yeah, but I've been to the Tornado Room too. That's been a while, but famous for steaks there, boy.
Oh, it's so good. I love that place. All right, next question. And this one's the one that stumps a lot of people, and we want to get your take on it. What do you consider to be the Northwoods of Wisconsin or up north?
Baraboo.
Baraboo? Yeah. Hey,
no.
That's okay.
I thought for sure you'd ask me where I'm from, but I'm from Green Bay originally.
Okay.
So I always looked at, to me, it was the Minocqua area, and points up there, Minocqua, Eagle River, yeah.
Yeah, I mean when 51 turns in the one lane, you're up north.
Yeah. We used to say north of 8.
Yep, that's the go-to.
Right.
Yep.
All right, so next question I got for you. Have you ever hit a deer?
No.
Oh, wow, that's awesome that you have not.
I consider myself lucky. Once I hit a really big raccoon, and I felt horrible. Just horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I always get super depressed when I hit an animal. No matter what it is, you don't want to kill it.
Right. They're just going about their day, and then all of a sudden, hey, your paths cross, and it's totally unfortunate for the critter.
Yep. Yeah. No, I'm knock on wood on that one.
Awesome. And so the next one I got for you, do you eat beer brats, and is there a beer you use, Tom?
I just don't eat. I don't eat many brats anymore. Maybe just once a summer or something. Both my wife and I have turned into pretty good. Well, my wife's always been a great cook, and I'm learning from her. And brats doesn't make it onto the list very often.
No,
but again, I still travel. I still travel a lot in the summer and at very festival community events, and brats are there. And yes, I do eat brats every summer. I don't cook them myself. If I used a beer, I don't think I would be particular. I like lots of beers, and I even though I eat well, I don't know that I have the taste buds to discriminate between whether it's been boiled in Point beer or Central Waters or something.
Yeah, right.
All right, so next one I got for you.
I would just rather grill the brat and drink the beer. I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
The beer.
Hey.
Keep the two separate, but enjoy them together.
That sounds like a great idea. All right.
How am I doing so far?
Pretty good.
Very good.
Oh, really good. All right, so next question. Do you have a favorite Dells water park you go to?
No. I've always looked at the Dells area as I've always turned my nose up at it.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like it's like little Illinois.
I'm too sophisticated for it.
Yeah, and I would assume too, being from Green Bay, I mean, there's so much better things closer to you that probably appeal to you more. I mean, the Dells was always just I guess a thing that, you know, the people from the more southern half of Wisconsin would travel to.
My first images of the Dells, people would talk about it in not hushed tones exactly, but they would say things like, have you heard about the Dells? You know what the stuff that's down there? There was just kind of this. That was like this, I don't know, like this awe or I don't know, at this crazy place called the Dells. And indeed, as I got older and saw the Dells, I thought, yeah. This place is nuts.
It's just water parks and giant fiberglass statues. Yeah. That's like
it's just,
the majority of it.
It's angry dads yelling at kids with inner tubes on.
You know the Tommy, what's his name?
Tommy Bartlett.
There. Well, yeah, Bartlett. The show folded this year because of the pandemic. I suppose that's true.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate, but at the same time, you know, how many times can you travel to the Dells and see a water ski show?
Yeah, the only thing I'll say now about it is I guess I'm happy for anything that brings money into the state and puts it in people's pockets, you know?
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because Wisconsin has become Illinois' national park, so whatever money they can bring in, hey, we'll take it. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, take their money, yeah.
We will definitely take good care of their cash.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so talking about beer, Tom, have you been to a brewery tour, and do you have one that you like to go to?
I have not been to a brewery tour, no. And one brewery that I do like to go to, because they have a small bar attached with live music, by the way, is Tyranina in Lake Mills. Are you familiar with that?
Absolutely,
yeah.
I've drank many of a Tyranina.
Bitter old woman.
Yeah.
I love that beer.
Yeah. They do have really wonderful beers, and that is one music establishment. It's a very small tap room. Although in the summertime they've expanded their outdoor area, so music is now outdoors and live. And for my money, they just have really one of the nicest lineups of acoustic music. No, I won't say acoustic anymore. They vary it up, but it's just really high quality, interesting stuff. No commercial stuff. Just really good bands from all over.
Awesome.
Pretty cool.
That'll be one that I mean, if things are, you know, sort of returned to normal, then Russ and I will definitely go up there and check that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I got one more question, Tom, before we let you go today. And this is a Scotty question. We got to see if you hit the trifecta here. So have you ever tailgated at a Brewers, Packers, or a Badgers game?
No. I've been to each of those games.
Okay.
I grew up in Green Bay, on the west side, maybe a mile and a quarter from Lambeau. And when I was a kid, this is several redesigns, remodelings of the stadium. There was cheap chain link fence surrounding the base of the outside of the stadium, through which it was easy to sneak. It was easy to sneak into the game. So as a kid, I didn't tailgate there. I didn't have to because I lived so close. But But I would sneak into the game with my friends. Now, once you got in, first of all, there would be security people who would see you, but they were all middle-aged guys who were big and fat because they drank too much. They drank a lot of beer, and so they couldn't catch you. So you would run, and then but there was once you're inside, there wasn't much you could do. You could just go to those those entryways into the stadium were, just to feed the stands, but there were no empty seats to go sit in, and so you'd have to be like a nomad trying to peek out here and there and just see parts of the game. It was really, I guess, just about the experience of sneaking in and being a kid, I guess.
Awesome.
So no to tailgating, but I love my memories of sneaking into Lambeau.
That's such a cool story. Could you imagine today with the new stadium?
Yeah.
It'd be impossible, but you have to be like Mission Impossible to do it.
I mean, I'm so envious of all the homes that are right around there that on game days they just get to basically set up a cool shop right out in front of their house, and it's totally way better than any tailgating experience I've had in the parking lot or parking in someone's front yard and just standing by my vehicle. So definitely really cool.
When I was a kid, we would, the parents would they'd get us McDonald's hamburgers, to tide us over and leave us at home with a babysitter, and we'd be out in the yard, and every now and then you'd hear this roar from a mile and a quarter away from the stadium, and you knew something cool just happened. Bart Starr just threw another touchdown pass to Max McGee or something.
Right. That's awesome.
But Tom, thank you so much for your time today, and also thank you for providing us with the music. This has been an awesome experience for both of us, and we love the Dang-Its, and we can't wait to come and see you guys live. So we'll be keeping an eye out for the schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that'd be great. As you travel to do your serious research that I know you're doing, it'd be great to see you guys out sometime.
Absolutely, Tom.
All right, Tom, enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thanks a lot.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that concludes this episode of Wisconsin Drunken History Podcast.
If you enjoyed this vulgar display of Wisconsin, please like and subscribe on whatever streaming platform you prefer. And remember to hit the bell on YouTube to be notified when we release new content.
Also, if you have any suggestions or ideas for future episodes, please send us an email at widrunkenhistory@gmail.com or head over to our Facebook and Instagram pages.
Thanks again for listening, and remember, as always,
Watch out for deer on your way home.